Roll A, take A.
Hello, and thank you for joining us for this special half-hour edition of the Newsfeed. I'm Emily Love.
And I'm Devin Cole. For the next 30 minutes, we will bring you stories making headlines at Virginia Tech and in the New River Valley. In the first half of our newscast, we will look specifically at stories related to Virginia Tech campus and community.
And later in the show, we will turn our attention to news around the New River Valley area. But first, Virginia Tech headlines. As hot a topic as ever, the issue of guns on college campuses is one that people's opinion on often separates based on partisan lines. Through the use of gun lockers on campus, Virginia Tech balances regards for safety while acknowledging students' right to bear arms. Newsfeed reporter Max Biesecker has more in this report.
Considering Virginia Tech's harrowing history involving students and guns, the university prohibits individuals from possessing or storing weapons and/or ammunition on campus. However, in an effort to balance safety with students' constitutional right to own firearms, the university allows students to safely store their weapons with the Virginia Tech Police Department in gun lockers at Virginia Tech's public safety building.
It's a very good idea because it's like, okay, even for people that have never been around gun stuff their whole life, it's like, well, you're close by people that are armed at all times for the job. So it's like, okay, that's pretty much going towards advice and education, which pretty much helps by all Marines. One way to pretty much wipe out ignorance and curiosity on stupid is exposure and education.
Firearms stored at the public safety building are available for pickup 24/7. The service also offers students experienced individuals for any advice regarding guns.
That provides oversight for people who may or may not be very experienced. It allows the officers to interact with the folks so they know who they can count on if there's an issue.
Once checked out, guns can be utilized for hunting or at an array of safe local ranges. However, immediately upon return to campus, the weapons must be checked back in. Located just 10 minutes outside of Blacksburg, the Blacksburg shooting range offers a safe place for students to express their Second Amendment rights. The range offers a traditional rifle and pistol range, as well as a shotgun and archery range, as you can see here behind me. This has been Max Biesecker reporting for the Newsfeed.
Virginia Tech Network protects users and data every day. However, it was a victim of a 1992 nationwide hack in which a computer science server was wiped out entirely by a cyber attack. Newsfeed reporter Win Fon tells us how Virginia Tech has implemented cybersecurity measures to prevent another attack.
Virginia Tech Network protects both users and data from online malicious activities. Advanced security systems such as extensive login and intrusion detection system keep hundreds of terabytes of data from hackers every day. However, what kicked the ball rolling for Virginia Tech advancement is a hack that happened in 1992.
The computer science machine, the administrator for that system, she came in one morning and noticed that somebody was running with elevated privileges, with administrator privileges, and it wasn't her. She's the only person that was supposed to be doing that. So she killed the account, and a few minutes later they logged back in, and they started deleting files.
Fast forward to almost 30 years later, Virginia Tech has now developed a reliable network that can handle heavy traffic every second.
Our internet connectivity was a couple of megabits per second for the entire campus, which is kind of crazy. Now our connectivity for the entire campus is around 100 gigabits, between 10 and 100 gigabits a second.
Virginia Tech Network has grown from being a victim to being a reliable source of cybersecurity today. Reporting for Newsfeed, I'm Wing Fan.
Virginia Tech's campus is home to remnants of a time when black people were enslaved by wealthy plantation owners.
Although the school's tagline has focused on inventing the future, many community members hope this includes addressing its past. Newsfeed reporter Lizzie Street joins us with more. Lizzie?
Thanks, Emily. To establish itself in 1872, Virginia Agricultural and Mechanical College, the forerunner of Virginia Tech, bought plantation land from Confederate Colonel Robert Preston. Decades later, many students are unaware of the racial history of the place they attend school. In April, Virginia Tech's Board of Visitors voted to rename the former slave cabin. It is now called the Fraction House in honor of a family who was enslaved at Solitude Plantation. Despite the renaming, members of the Virginia Tech community find that Tech's addressing of its racial history is inadequate. Additionally, the university did little to notify the community about this event. One student expressed disappointment that the renaming was not more widely publicized and noted that this shows a lack of commitment to progress.
How much you care about it. So I feel like when organizations do things in the community, they talk about it. So I feel like as Virginia Tech as a school, if they're taking steps to acknowledge the history, but then show that they're trying to change it, then they should tell us about it.
Community members believe that the renaming is a step in the right direction, but hope for more outreach and inclusion of Black people and their histories in the future. Virginia Tech historian Peter Wallenstein reminds students that they are Virginia Tech just as much as President Sands is. If students want to see a difference in how the school's racial history is addressed, their passion can be a driving force behind change. I'm Lizzie Street reporting. Back to you at the news desk.
Thanks, Lizzie. With the warmer weather comes the desire to hike and explore the local trails. This increased desire leads to the risk of getting lost while hiking.
Virginia Tech's engineers are working towards a solution to improve these search and rescue missions. Newsfeed reporter Michaela Kreider has more in this next story.
Virginia Tech's engineering department is ranked number 7 out of public universities due to its innovation, education, and research facilities. The school actively introduces new facilities to provide the best research possible. Behind me is Virginia Tech's 85-foot-tall drone park. The park opened last April and has catered to many students, faculty, and researchers in various ways. The park has enhanced research opportunity for the university and has gained much recognition in itself. The drone park is used for many different recreational reasons, one of which is research. A group of Virginia Tech engineering professors have incorporated drones into their most recent research mission. The team plans to create drones that will participate in search and rescue ventures with the overarching goal of improving these trips. The researchers also see many long-lasting effects of this project.
The direct one that we're trying to resolve or trying to aid now is obviously helping out the declining volunteer or ensuring that we have a faster search time of the lost person. Sometimes people lost for too long, they do suffer injuries and sometimes don't necessarily make it.
This 4-year-long project consists of engineers who are specializing in different elements of the research to ensure the best results. This has been Michaela Kreider reporting for the Newsfeed.
Each year, the housing department at Virginia Tech opens a lottery system for students' families for on-campus housing during graduation. But the campus housing has not received a 5-star rating. The housing lottery allows for an opportunity for families to stay in a campus dorm and have the ease of being close to all the graduation activities. The meal plan is even included for the duration of their stay. The university does this to stay competitive with local hotels that charge guests 3-night minimum fees. However, graduating senior Danielle Atella says the more convenient housing was not worth the price for her family.
They were going to have to end up getting maybe 4 or even 5 rooms, which ended up not being a good idea because in a hotel you could pretty much put double the amount of people you were going to have in the dorm and it would still work.
Atella's family, like many others, found staying in the hotel to be a more cost-efficient route. Despite mixed reviews, Virginia Tech will continue to allow families the option to stay on campus during graduation in the future. There's more just ahead on this special half-hour edition of the Newsfeed.
May is Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month. Coming up, a look at how Virginia Tech Motorcycle Club is bringing attention to the risks riders face when young drivers are on the road.
Plus, plans to renovate a popular gym on Virginia Tech's campus will cause students to change up their workout routine. That story and more after this break.
Hey, let's check out this park. Oh, wow, that's really cool. To find a great local park or forest near you, go to discovertheforest.org.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
Welcome back to the newsfeed. To many, the library is just a place to study or check out books, but Newman Library at Virginia Tech aims to do something more than that. Through the use of displays, they try to educate students visiting the library. Newman Library is one of the most visited libraries on campus. It constantly has different things on to display and engage students on different topics, such as graphic medicine or awareness months. The decision-making that goes into choosing which displays are best is done by Scott Fralin, and he chooses based on what current issues are going on and what he believes will best serve the community.
I don't know, I like to see things that are either related to student groups on campus or things like that, things that I feel like the people who use the library might enjoy more or identify more with.
While the displays at the library are ever-changing, the ultimate goal will always be to provide students with information. The displays are a way of making the library an information hub. War Memorial Gym will undergo major renovations at the end of this year. While the updates are needed, this will disrupt the routine for many who frequently work out there. The renovations at War Memorial Gym will expand the weight room, add spaces for mental health, and most importantly, air conditioning. All students and staff will have to use McComas Gym during construction. With McComas already being crowded, the closure could create even more traffic in the gym. To prevent this, McComas will be open earlier and later than normal. Lifeguards who work at the gyms hope one pool in McComas can handle all the teams who need it for practice.
The dive team probably going to be affected, but I don't think that it will be anything too drastic that it'll offset the whole balance of Virginia Tech.
The renovations will take about 2 years to complete. Construction is set to begin December 2019 and expected to be completed in 2021.
Motorcycle-related accidents are on the rise during the spring and summer months. To launch the start of spring, May is Motorcycle Awareness Month, a month dedicated to helping drivers be more cautious when on the roadways around motorcycles. As newsfeed reporter Catherine Maxwell tells us in this next story, in a college town, young drivers can be seen to pose more risks on motorcycle drivers.
Driving can be a very dangerous situation, even more dangerous for motorcyclists. Motorcyclists complain about people who drive cars, trucks, SUVs, or any other vehicle other than a motorcycle because most people don't understand the roadway dangers motorcyclists face.
I think that the biggest issue with safety on a motorcycle is it's not always the person who's driving the motorcycle, it's the people around them, because being on a motorcycle, I don't think that you pose much of a risk.
From the Governor's Highway Safety Association, motorcycle deaths were reportedly declining in 2018, but motorcycle-related deaths were 28 times more frequent than any other fatal crash.
Motorcyclists complain about other drivers on the roadways, such as people texting and driving, as well as people randomly merging into their lane because motorcyclists most of the time are actually in other people's blind spots.
Just right adjacent to them or parallel, I'm probably not being seen at that moment, and if they decide to switch lanes, then they're probably just gonna start coming over.
The main things are really, if you see a car swerving, you notice it a lot more when you're on a bike than when you're in a car. On the highway, you'll notice big truck drivers, and wind is a big issue.
Reporting for the newsfeed, I'm Catherine Maxwell.
Well, that wraps up our look at some of the stories making news in the tech community. Stick around, there's more ahead.
Coming up, a look at some top stories in the New River Valley. Our newsfeed cohorts Eric Liu and Charlotte Kuhn are standing by in the newsroom, and they will take you through the second half of this newscast. Eric and Charlotte?
Thanks, Devin. That's right. We'll be switching gears, turning our focus to the New River Valley.
Yes, and a few of the stories just ahead are a look at how a local farmers market is increasing access to fruits and vegetables for low-income families. And we'll take a closer look at the town of Blacksburg under its first female leader.
So stay with us. We'll be back after this short break.
Disaster tips from the objects left behind.
My home wasn't insured, but you can check your insurance policy now to make sure you're covered. Oh.
My savings are lost, but you can put money aside and plan for unexpected disaster costs.
We're lost forever, but you can scan important documents now so they survive.
For more tips on how to prepare, visit ready.gov.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Roll A, take A.
Hello and welcome back to the second half of this special half-hour edition of the Newsfeed. I'm Charlotte Kuhn.
And I'm Eric Liu. In the first half of our newscast, we looked at Virginia Tech stories that are making headlines. And now we turn our attention to news around the New River Valley area. The first time Blacksburg was being considered into becoming a city was in the 1980s.
The decision ended in staying a town, but in 2017 the question was brought up again to town council. Ultimately, the town council agreed to stay as a town because of additional taxes, like higher property taxes. At the time, there were also so many questions as to how the town could financially fund operations. Rebuilding the most recent Blacksburg High School would take $3 million when the town could only offer $2.75 million at the time. As the town of Blacksburg grows, the conversation will continue among the community and its residents. Blacksburg has celebrated some significant firsts recently. Blacksburg's mayor, Leslie Hager-Smith, was elected as the first female mayor in the history of Blacksburg in 2017. Also, her vice mayor, Susan Anderson, is one of the first female vice mayors in the town's history. As Newsfeed reporter Tommy Skeen tells us, the mayor and her staff are continuing to work on making more milestones during her administration.
I really think that if we continue with this little thoughtfulness, that we will kill the goose that lays the golden egg.
Mayor Leslie Hager-Smith has been in office for around a year and a half, and her message has stayed the same.
I think I got involved for the reason that most people do, and that is to make a positive difference.
One standing committee the mayor uses to increase business relations is the Business Relations Committee.
And the one question that they put to members of the business community was, would you recommend Blacksburg as a good place to do business? And the answer that came back was, yes.
Looking to the future, Vice Mayor Susan Anderson tells us of the town council's ideas for downtown.
For the future, we intend to build a parking garage behind the cellar.
Susan Anderson also has an idea to improve the community for older populations.
Housing, but what we've heard from many people is there isn't the kind of housing that many retirees who want to retire to Blacksburg want. People in their 70s, 80s tend to prefer to want to live on one floor.
This has been Tommy Skeen reporting from the Newsfeed.
In other news, a local organization is taking action to end racism in Montgomery County. The Dialogue on Race aims to address issues that face the community. The Dialogue on Race began when a few members of the community came together to solve an issue facing Montgomery County. In 2013, they created an organization that would help create a more accepting place within Southwest Virginia. Despite the title, Dialogue, the organization goes far beyond discussions. They aim to address key areas that affect the region: education, employment, law, enforcement, limited presence, and white privilege.
The Dialogue on Race, the mission of it is to convene community and to address issues that have been identified by the African American community in Montgomery County, and then to take those issues, to understand them, and then to take action to address those issues.
The organization works in many ways to end racism, such as collecting data on racial profiling and providing a directory of Black-owned businesses. According to Morikawa, these initiatives and others have helped create positive change within the last decade. Shopping at thrift shops is a good way to combat throwaway culture. The Habitat for Humanity Restore in Christiansburg is uniquely different from all the other thrift stores in the NRV area. The Restore not only sells secondhand goods, but also hosts community events to raise awareness about the throwaway culture. Newsfeed reporter Mike Liu tells us more.
The Habitat for Humanity Restore sells new and gently used furniture, appliances, home goods, building materials, and more, while the Restore serves to raise funds to build homes for people in the community who are not qualified for loans in any other way. The store also helps to combat throwaway culture in America. The Habitat for Humanity Restore is an independently owned reuse store that is operated by the local Habitat for Humanity organizations. Located in Christiansburg, the store accepts oral donations and sells home improvement items at a fraction of the retail price.
If you have a couch that you would like to donate, they call and they say, hey, can you pick up this item, or, we're dropping off an item, and so they are definitely used. But we do not accept anything with stains, rips, tears.
The store recently just hosted a community event called Repair Cafe. The event was started 2 years ago in conjunction with the New River Valley Time Bank. Community members can bring their broken items at home and have them repaired at the store. The store recruited volunteer repairers in the community to help with the event.
It's a day where community members can bring up to 3 items and have someone who has some expertise look them over and try and repair it so that we keep it out of the landfill.
Reporting for the Newsfeed, this is Mike Liu.
Stay with us, there's more just ahead.
Coming up, a story about 2 women advancing in the field of sports play-by-play broadcasting.
Plus, a look at how low-income residents in the NRV have access to fresh food and other items at a local farmer's market. We'll be back after this break.
Get it.
Get it.
Get it.
Give your town a reason to celebrate, because every Goodwill item you bring home brings job training and more to your community. Goodwill, bring good home.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know wherever you are.
Welcome back to the Newsfeed. The Christiansburg Farmers Market shuts down a street every Thursday to provide access to fresh, agricultural-based food products to the greater Christiansburg community. One way they do this is by accepting SNAP as a form of payment. SNAP stands for Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, and this program provides assistance in purchasing food for low-income residents in the United States. The Christiansburg Farmers Market has been accepting SNAP as a form of payment since they opened up the market in 2015. This provides an opportunity for people in Christiansburg to buy fresh food that might otherwise be too expensive at the grocery store.
Huge for a lot of people in this area, and we want to just do our part to serve the community in that way, basically. And SNAP is one of the ways in which we can do that, make ourselves accessible with those groups of people, and because they really are the backbone for this market.
The farmers market's mission is to create a space for the community to gather together while promoting healthy eating and sustainability.
Rising Silo is a brewery that works closely with local farm to produce the freshest farm-to-table food in the area. The farm is located on site, which gives the restaurant easy access to all the fresh ingredients they need. Newsfeed reporter Emily Love tells us more in this next story.
Farm-to-table dining is a new concept that has recently been growing in popularity. Rising Silo Brewery has been working in conjunction with Glade Road Growing Farm for the last 3 years to accomplish this fresh food initiative. The farm is located next to Rising Silo and fresh produce and breakfast are available every Thursday through Saturday from 9 to 11 before the brewery opens up to the public. It is a friendly environment where the farmers bring their children to work to ride tractors and play with the animals. This is a one-of-a-kind experience in the area.
So we do produce fresh product 12 months a year, and we sell to our customers and our restaurant 12 months a year. So it's your only fresh, changing menu around here.
The restaurant and farm is known for the selling of duck eggs, and the chef incorporates that into many of the meals. The restaurant is called Tabula Rasa, and they strive to get the freshest ingredients, such as their produce and meat, from close proximity farms, mainly the one on site. Reporting for the Newsfeed, I'm Emily Love.
Recently, the Qualcomm Think-A-Bit Lab opened in the Virginia Tech Roanoke Center for Higher Education with the goal of getting students acclimated with STEM fields at a young age. This space is a place for 6th graders to take field trips to assess their interest level in various STEM professions, as well as evaluate their strengths and weaknesses. During the day-long trip, students set up shop in 2 rooms, the World of Work room and the Beanbag room. Throughout the day, students explore all the STEM careers, learning what it takes to become active in the STEM field. The students are taught how to code, construct electrical circuits, install program server modes, and work on a personal invention. Administrators at the Virginia Tech Roanoke Center are optimistic that the program will not only increase girls in STEM, but youth participation overall.
We feel like getting kids started in STEM careers at a young age is really going to help our pipeline. We see a lot of need in our community for people coming out of college in STEM careers, and we want to expose them to those experiences at a young age.
Following these school outings, the operators of the Think-A-Bit Lab keep in touch with teachers in order to gauge and track the students' interest. The team is hoping to emulate the success of Virginia Tech's first Think-A-Bit Lab in Falls Church. In the future, the team hopes to open the lab up to more age groups. History was made a few weeks ago when Susie Cool and Melanie Newman became the first female duo to call a radio play-by-play broadcast of a baseball game.
The 2 women, who work for the Salem Red Sox, are pioneering a movement that is gathering national attention. Newsfeed reporter Avery Lane has more on this story.
The cheers of the enthusiastic crowd in the warm spring sun signal the highly anticipated return of minor league baseball to the New River Valley. This season is a different one for the Salem Red Sox, however. It is the beginning of a new and exciting era. Melanie Newman will be calling every game on the radio for the Red Sox and will be joined during some games by her new partner, Susie Cool. Newman, who has been calling games for the past couple of years, is excited to take on this new adventure.
Like, we're showing up for our jobs. And it's a normal day for us. It's the same thing that we've decided to do, since we were in college and had our family back us. No one ever told us that it was different. And then all of a sudden, the hiring, and we realized the mark that it was going to make, and we didn't realize it was going to be as viral as it was.
The duo has captured some national attention because of their historic feat, but are still looking for ways to improve their on-air talents. For both of them, their love for the game drives their passion, and their determination is an inspiration to many girls and women.
The baseball field has a special place in Susie's heart. Growing up playing softball taught her the strong work ethic that she has today, and it's one of the reasons why she ended up becoming a sports broadcaster.
So overwhelming that so many people, and I know that you heard this before, but just an entire city being behind me, that's the stuff that it's so remarkable to realize how many people believe in you. And a year ago, if you would have told me that that was the case, I would have told you were crazy.
Reporting for the Newsfeed, I'm Avery Lane.
That will wrap up this special edition of the Newsfeed. A look at stories making headlines in the New River Valley and at Virginia Tech.
The Newsfeed will be going on a hiatus for a few months, but we'll be returning in the fall with a new group of journalists and a new crop of stories to keep you up to date about what's going on with Virginia Tech and the New River Valley area.
While we are away, if you have a story idea, send us an email at thenewsfeednrv@gmail.com, and you can connect with us on Facebook and Twitter. Thanks for joining us. I'm Eric Liu.
And I'm Charlotte Kuhn. For all of us at the Newsfeed, we hope you enjoy the rest of spring and have a wonderful summer.